Today I wanted to try and do a few of these, okay? So that would just involve this little machine and a bit of aluminium, no problem. Right, but there is a problem. Set it all up, the coil broke, didn't it? So the element's broken. Oh, I forgot about that. So that's broken. Let's have a look. That's broken. Oh, see, all these wires went and then I didn't do anything about it. I don't really want to set the propane up because the whole safety behind it all, it's a lot to set up and I only want to do a couple of those. So I'll tell you what then, let's have a look. Right, so I'm setting this back up, right? So this is what I've got so far. It's just a bit of board, but it's just a bit of cement board. It's not cement board deliberately, it's just because I had board left over, okay? Thermalite block, that is deliberate. It's thermalite because it's rubbish at conducting heat, so that's a brilliant base. Now in there, I'm not going to disturb it now because I've got it settled, but there's your what's name, your ceramic wall, and then I've cut another thing out then so I could just drop that in the centre of there because it was raising it up too much. But there's the thermalite block here, so I just wanted to put a barrier between that and the thermalite just as an extra thing and to raise it up a little bit. So I don't want to go too high because you've got the thickness at the bottom of the crucible will take out that little gap anyway. So that has actually back down now level. That'll work beautiful, that. And then that is perfect place, perfect place. Okay, so if you go back into one of my other videos, you'll see me making these. So that's that. Right, now these are just fan oven elements. That's all they are. Okay, I could show you how I've wired it up, but I'm not going to deliberately because I'm not condoning any of that activity because it's dangerous and I don't want to be responsible for you electrocuting or blowing your house up or electrocuting yourself, whatever. Yeah, so I'm not going to show you how I've wired it up. I do trust myself to have wired it up properly. Right, I'm just making sure the elements still move. So if the elements can move, that means they've got expansion room. Okay, right, this one broke, git, even though I changed what I was doing, and so I could put a new block in there because I was missing one, and it bloody broke. So never mind. So they're all covered now. That's all covered. That's all covered. That's in there. This is just a dismantle and you didn't even see me, right? I wasn't here. And that sits in there beautiful. And I'll just use my old if I can get it a second. I'll use that as the lid. And then of course if you want to cover up, you cover up and keep the heat in completely. I don't know whether I might just put a couple of blocks across it this time. Or just put mind you, it's picking it up and moving it and then putting it down somewhere safe. Anyway, let me come back to it in a bit and I'll show you what's going on. So the results. So this was the first pour and that was the second pour. This one was in the Petrobond sand and this one was in the green sand. So the green sand one was an open sprue. So that was just a hollow open sprue and the 4 castings in the bottom with the channels. Now I don't think the channels were enough to feed it. This was probably more successful than the other one. This one was burnout sprues and all the sprues burnt out, lovely jubbly, but then it lost all its energy by the time it got there. So I don't know. I mean, if you put half the size of the sprue in, if you reduce the size of the sprue, then you're reducing the flow. So then you're reducing the energy going in. So I don't know if that's the way. I think possibly this might be the way. And somehow changing my gating system. Of course, that's the first one I've done. So with the foam sprue, I managed to get this one was the best one. And that hasn't actually locked anything in there, because that still comes out. But these two came from the open sprue and these are the best so far. And then they didn't quite close. That's not far away, that one. And this one also, again, not far away, just run out of energy. So definitely open sprue, so it's keeping its energy until it gets down to the kill point. but then it's this gating. I need to change the gating. So this was just a rough idea. I didn't have any clue what I was doing when I just lobbed it in. So yeah, I think do away with the sprues, the polystyrene sprues, and just have an open sprue, and then change my gating. I think that's what I'm going to do next. So I've got a few more tries at it, and then we're going to move on to copper, because I want to recreate, where is it? That cube. I want to recreate the cube into a hollow cube, which is what I'm trying to make here. Let's have a look. So I'm trying to make a hollow cube of copper. So I'm going to make this, put this in, and sacrifice this to copper. So it's just to make it a little bit lighter, that's all, because that's quite a heavy lump, that other one. Anyway, happy melting, folks.